humans! Good to see you again. I've got a cottage pie coming up today on here. Cottage pie, I know that is a staple sort of meal, but you can see how I've made it and it's quite Weight Watcher friendly, this version. We're walking and we're chatting today. I'm doing the walking and the chatting. Give it a break, Amy, you're doing it all. You're doing the walking and the chatting. Can somebody not do the chatting? No, they can't. You can chat to me. You can chat to me down in the comments, or you can just chat at the video. I'll probably be talking over you. We can create a hubbub of activity, a hive of language. Also, I am here now to tell you how I am doing on the Svelte in September. And I can do it now because I'm not outside. So that's good, because me saying Svelte in September in that voice is a bit embarrassing if somebody catches you doing it. Maybe it's not embarrassing. I mean, you say it to your heart's content. So Svelte in September is a challenge I am doing. I list what I am doing in the description box at the bottom below this video. So if you're interested, we're into week 2 now. Tracking every day for 10 days. I was exercising 45 minutes a day for 10 days. I've still carried that on. I'm doing really well with that. I'm happy with that. My activity levels are great. Drinking water, I've kept on with that. In fact, I've kept on with all the 3 things. I've also taken progress pictures. I'm not going to show you those now. I'll probably wait to the end of the challenge and show you some progress pictures. First week of Svelte in September, I lost 2.5 pounds. Second week, I lost 1.5 pounds. So really, really pleased with that result. If you want to join me, I have just written them down in my notebook. I'm a writer, I like to write them out. So I just write them out for the 10 days and put little tick boxes next to. I just tick them off as I go. On day 10, we incorporated an affirmation every day. Now, if you want to see about the affirmation, go back to my last video where I talk about it. And the affirmation this week, because we're going to carry on doing that, if you see your reflection in a mirror or you catch a glimpse of yourself, that is a good prompt then to do your affirmation. This week, my affirmation is, I touch the world with love wherever I go. So that is this week's affirmation. If that one doesn't work for you, there are so many. Have a look online. There are loads. If you just type in affirmations, there are lots and lots. I think there's even books dedicated to affirmations. Mine this week, like I say, is I touch the world with love wherever I go. I've been doing these affirmations. The other day, I was in a situation where somebody was a little bit mean to me in a supermarket. I found it a lot easier to let it go. So even though maybe I didn't touch her with love, I touch you with love. No, I didn't do that. That'd have probably freaked her out. And also, maybe we'd have got ejected from the shop. That's not what happened. But with my affirmations, they're making me more mentally strong, and I didn't stew on it. I just walked away from the situation. Didn't think about it too much after that. So I think they're working. That's a good sign to me. They're really beneficial for me. I've also got a little bit of footage of the boys at Go Ape. Now, if you know what Go Ape is, it's where they're travelling through the treetops. It's a short clip. So cool. So, join me, guys.
I've got 350 grams of raw potatoes. Now, this just serves 2. So this is for me and Paul. All these spices, half teaspoon each. So we've got chili powder, half a teaspoon. Paprika, half a teaspoon. Some jalapeno. This is the dried jalapeno. You could put a little bit of fresh jalapeno in, or some fresh chili, that would also be fine. Half a teaspoon of garlic granules, half a teaspoon of turmeric, half a teaspoon of salt, and then I've just got some olive oil there, which we're going to fry these spices in. So I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of olive oil.
So we start by peeling our spuds, and we get those onto boil until they are cooked through. Meanwhile, I heated my tablespoon of oil in a pan, added half a teaspoon of garlic granules, half a teaspoon of turmeric, half a teaspoon of the chili jalapeno, half a teaspoon of the chili powder, half a teaspoon of paprika, a fried those spices until my kitchen was so fragrant with the smell, and also added half a teaspoon of salt. You will see later I make a big mistake here because I actually salt the potato as well, but I have added salt to the pan. Then I chopped my carrots into wedges. Apparently a lot of the nutrients are in the skin, so I left the skin on, I just took any bad bits off. I mix them with a tablespoon of oil, a teaspoon of honey and a good sprinkle of salt. Honey is high point, however I only use a teaspoon for this whole tray, which gets divided in between 3 of us. So I don't think that's too bad, and there are some health benefits, isn't there, to honey? So then when my potatoes cook through, I give them a mash. I just add the spices that have been toasted in the pan and 1 egg, a dancing egg. Give that a good mix and then form into potato patties. I add another tablespoon of oil to the pan. If you are worried about the amount of oil, you could use firelight. That would be absolutely fine as well. One of my potato cakes fell apart, guys. These potato cakes are 5 points each. They're nice and big. However, I've made a mistake here. I added salt to the frying pan and then I added salt to the potato. So I've double salted, so they are a little bit on the salty side. Nice and crispy on the outside. Nice and seasoned and spiced on the inside and fluffy. Pulled the beautiful honeyed carrots out of the oven and I'm just about to add some flaked almonds. Flaked almonds on and then pop the carrots back into the oven for 10 minutes. For a third of this tray, it was 4 points for me. However, if you did use firelight, it would be 2 points. So that's easy way to bring those points down if you want to. For a portion of the chicken with the carrots and the potato cake, it was 9 points. I feel like Instagram is the place to be if you want beauty. This is just food. And just like that, we teleport from my kitchen to Go Ape. So this is a small clip of my boys at Go Ape. This cost us £25 per child. For the £25, you got as long as it took you to do all 4 courses. There were 4 big zip wires. How it worked was you did a little practice course first, then you went up onto the first level, and then if you were happy with the first level, you'd go up again and do the course again from a higher range and some different obstacles, then again and again until you were at the top. When the boys got to the highest course, there was no one else on. There was just them. I think everybody else had had enough by that point, but they did really, really well. Like I say, we were there over a couple of hours. They really enjoyed their time. They are very adventurous boys. Final one now, the top tier. There's no one in front of them. Sideway bridge. I mean, you see how high up they are. So there's Paul. They're right in the trees.
This one, it's a little trainer one, isn't it? The younger ones. Are you confident or not?
Not really.
Very much so, Laurie, you are.
You're like a budgie.
Paul's watching the boys on the Go Ape. I'm just going to fit in my 45 minutes of exercise for today. Look at these beauties I've ran into. Sound a little bit like the cows, don't they? This one's a heavy breather. Hello, boys. Somebody's put police close at 8. I think it's way past that, isn't it? Somebody's ran into that, I think, with a tractor, some sort of farming equipment. Right, I think I'm going to turn back towards the boys. I really want to catch them on the Go Ape. Bye, lads. Have a nice weekend. So on the go out, they were held up a little bit. There was a nervous little boy in front, so they were waiting for him. This actually happened to us. We were at Centre Parks, and Sebastian and Laurie, they wanted to do the treetop adventure there. This was a few years ago now, so Laurie was younger, and yeah, he was absolutely frightened to death, bless him. I was absolutely terrified, to be fair. It was really high up. Not something I would usually do, however, Sebastian really wanted to do it, and I thought I need to step up here. So I did it for him. I was very proud of myself when I'd done it. Laurie did get hoisted down at one point. He was just absolutely terrified in tears. It was really sad. Since then, I mean, he does push himself to do things as well. And so brave, both of them are. They push me, especially with Sebastian. He pushes me, and he makes me grow and try and be better. And Laurie does as well. I mean, they're both absolutely cracking lads. As I'm out here doing my 45 minutes, I'm just thinking about what I've got to be grateful for. I've come to a little stream. How gorgeous. It's beautiful. Where the pixies live, eh? So pretty, the light's coming through the trees. There are a lot of times, I'm going up steps now, I'm going to be out of breath, guys. There's a lot of times when there's challenges with Sebastian. I just want to say that because what is portrayed on my channel, that's not everything, and it is hard sometimes. It's really hard, and I understand that if you've got, it doesn't have to be a child with disabilities, it can be anything, can't it? Sometimes you can find things getting on top of you and things get hard, things that you don't know how to deal with. And I think all this self-worth work, working on yourself, it makes such a huge difference in that, because you feel like when you're doing that work, not at first, because it takes a while to see the benefits of doing it, the affirmations, getting enough sleep, meditation, self-help books, it takes a while to see the benefits, but it does give you the tools to be able to handle things a little bit better and to step up and be there and be that person to just keep going with things when things are tricky. Just persist. It's just consistency. It's just like our weight loss journeys. If you're consistent with putting in the work, and it is work, sometimes you don't want to do it, sometimes, of reading the books, meditating and writing down your journey, maybe writing in a journal, self-help, it is rewarding. You see the rewards, you can be there, or you can think straight when things go to poop. And like I say, it is demanding. I think having a child with autism, it is very much so, and you've got to juggle a lot of things, and I'm certainly never think that I'm doing it right all the time. I nearly tripped then. There's lots of times when I think, no way, I'm doing all this wrong. It's easy to beat yourself up about that, but you can only do what you can do. You can only do your best. And sometimes you have to be strong for others, and sometimes you just don't have it in you to be strong. But working on yourself, honestly, really does help. Really does help. I'm heading back now. I did just want to get my 45 minutes in, and then I don't have to do it later. I've got a shepherd's pie to cook later on. It's not shepherd's, it's cottage, because shepherd's is lamb, isn't it? And cottage is beef, isn't it? And I'm making mine with beef. I'm going to do a nice sweet potato topping, and that will be delicious, I'm sure. So I'm prepping that. I don't want to be in the kitchen and then getting out of there and then everyone's settling down. We're going to watch a bit of TV together, and then I say, oh no, I haven't done my 45 minutes of exercise, so I'm doing it now. See you later on, guys. Back from the go out, so hungry, so silly not to take something with me to eat. Paul got a bacon butty and a coffee while we were there, but I thought, no, I'm going home, I'm having my avocado with my turkey bacon, so I held on, and now it's just after 2 and I'm very, very hungry. So here I've got some seeded bread, 5 points, avocado, 3 points, bacon, 2 points. Trying to add this up in my mind. So this is a 10-point lunch. I've got a little bit of sriracha, but I'm not counting that, it's only a little bit. Back home, all ready to get some cooking done. I'm feeling a bit tired actually this afternoon. It's only 4 p.m.
don't know. As I was out walking, probably noticed I'm looking a bit haddocky. Haddocky. I have just had my lips filled. I only get this top lip one filled. I have 1/10 of a teaspoon of filler in my top lip bit. I've been doing it for 6 years, so I think you've probably never seen me without the filler in. But because I've just had it done, it's a little bit swollen. I know people have strong ideas and opinions on filler, so I do apologise especially when I turn to the side, you can see it more. I'm looking quite swollen on that top lip. I look like I've been smacked in the mouth, but that is not the case. So super duper easy, isn't it, a cottage pie? I'm sure everyone has made cottage pie before. Just something nice, comforting, getting into the autumn now, wanting something a little bit more stodgy. I always want something stodgy. I've never stopped the stodge, have I? I don't think I've ever stopped the stodge, but we're gonna have a lovely cottage pie. So I'll just show you how I'm making mine.
In my cottage pie with my mince, I am going to have a base of onion, celery and carrots. You can put as many of these in as you feel like you would like. I have added lentils as well before to bulk a cottage pie out. However, today we were just having beef and vegetables. So I added 4 sticks of celery, some miniature carrots because that's what I had in, and 1 onion. I chopped those up and then I fried them off in the pan with some fry light. I weighed out 400 grams of potatoes and I gave them a peel and boiled them in a pan. And also in this recipe I wanted to use sweet potato, however I did not have any fresh sweet potato, so I used frozen sweet potato. Now I quite like these, but they definitely didn't have as much flavour as fresh sweet potato, so I think in future I would use the fresh. If you're not keen on sweet potato, these would probably be a good option because they had the texture but they didn't have that very strong flavour. So there is 400 grams of a regular raw potato in that pan and 400 grams of the frozen sweet potato in that pan. I seasoned my vegetables and then I pushed them to one side. I was being a little bit lazy here. I mean, you could take them out of the pan and fry your mince if you wanted. Then I gave that a mix together once my mince had cooked through. This is not what you want to see, is it? No. Go away. Then I added a stock pot, a beef stock pot to my pan, and a good seasoning of Worcester sauce, a tablespoon of Worcester sauce in this. Added some black pepper. Queen of the measurements here. So 1/4 of a pint of water. I add to what I think will be suitable. It was 1/4 of a pint. Then I took my potatoes off because they were cooked through. I added 2 teaspoons of margarine, light margarine, and then seasoned with some salt and give that a good mash. Cottage pie, assemble!
All done. I've made more indulgent cottage pies in the past, but obviously I've kept this one simple because everything I've put into it, I've got a point. It tastes good. It's meat, 2 veg, a little bit more extra veg, food stripped back a little bit, small amount of points. That is 10 points per portion and it does 4 portions. Used to make cottage pie, used to make a proper gravy up for the gravy. That'd include adding flour, things like that. I don't want to rack those points up. You top it with a little bit of cheese, but just changing it. I know it's not quite the same, but for a midweek meal, that'll do us. Out of the oven. 1/4 of this big old dish, and it is pretty large, is 10 points. It's a big portion, that. This is what it looks like after I've taken my portion out. Just out on my 45-minute exercise walk. I wasn't gonna film anything. I was just walking. I was listening to YouTube, just walking. I've just seen an owl so close up. I mean, I had YouTube on, playing, while I was walking up to this owl. I was like, turn off, trying not to disturb it. I was so close, it was asleep. So I've had to film that because it was absolutely amazing. I've never seen anything like it. I was so close to this owl. On the camera, it looks further away than what I actually was. I was pretty darn close.
It's sunny, but all the cows are lying down. So, are we expecting some rain here? Do they know something I don't? I've disturbed them now, getting the blackberries. Hey girls! How are we doing today? Look at those trotters. Bye bye, sweetheart.
Hope you've enjoyed this week's vlog, guys. Simple food this week. I think we've gone back to basics. So very simple food, meat, potatoes, vegetables, done 2 different ways. Sometimes simple things are the best, aren't they? And just try and make them low point, things that you're used to having. And to be fair, meat, potatoes, vegetables, they are quite low point anyway. It's just spice them up, because you don't want something that's low point and then it's drab. Good on the taste buds as well. I will see you next time.